Hey guys, welcome to the beginners class here. I'm here with Luca and today we're going to show you some De La Riva guard. And we're going to start off with some basic sweeps here. So nice and easy, just to get you going. So the De La Riva guard is all about controlling with the De La Riva hook here on the opposite side here. And just to give you an idea of what the position is about is look how he's turning his stance in towards me, right? And what I want to be able to do here is to kick this leg. So I'm pushing and I'm turning his stance away from me. Basically now what happens is he's a little bit, it's a little bit harder for him to start passing me, and he starts to turn in to start taking away grips and moving so that he can start working, right? So most of the time here, I'm always looking to kick this leg here and push it away, right? On the other side here, I want to make sure that my foot is coming under his thigh and hooking tight under here, okay? So a lot of the times the reason why you can't do that is because his foot is too far away from your hip, okay? So if the foot is, let's say, a little bit further here, watch how my foot is not going to reach the other side of his thigh, right? But as soon as I move my hips close, suddenly I can do it, okay? So what you're looking for here on this side is always to keep this foot close to your hips and hooking tight with that leg here. So having this hook here and kicking the other side, we're going to switch again. So here, right? Now I'm going to start looking for some grips. So the other grip here on his ankle is not that important right now, so I can just grip on his Achilles. But what I'm looking for now is the grip on the like the far sleeve here, okay? A lot of the times there's going to be a little grip fight here as he's trying to remove my leg or trying to push it in between, right? So I want to grab this one, and if he has a grip on my pants here, I'm going to kick my leg out, break the grip, and now push back on his thigh here, okay? So now I'm going to create a little bit of momentum as I kick this leg away. Using this momentum, I'm going to sit up, so come up here, and now I'm going to bring my other arm here that was holding his Achilles and go over my own leg and under his thigh here, okay? So watch now how I'm going to give this sleeve grip to that other arm here. So I'm giving here, and now I have this grip where I'm controlling his shoulder down and I'm wrapping it under his thigh here, okay? So there's a couple of things you can do from here, but what we're going to go for now is either the collar or the back of his armpit, okay? So the armpit is a little bit stronger. The collar is mostly more available. So if it's too far away, you could just go for the collar, right? So let's say the armpit here. What I want to do now is I want to pull this down, and I'm going to keep pushing with this leg to control the distance here, okay? So when I do that, I'm now going to fall a little bit to the side and bring him with me, right? So now I'm going to come up here in this position where I'm still controlling his sleeve and I'm still wrapping his leg inside here. So now going for an easy pass, I can cross face and step over his leg, and now go into the side control, okay? So here, looking for this far sleeve here, right? If he has a good grip, make sure to break it, right? So watch how his grips is always kind of like, so it's going to be hard for me to pull my leg, especially if his grips is like this, right? So what I want to do is I want to pull his hand and kick my leg at the same time, okay? So now it's easy to break it, and now I'm going to push his legs away and come up. So now throwing my arm through and over, I'm going to give this grip over to the other hand and now grab his collar or the back of his armpit here, okay? So keep stretching that leg away, and watch this, guys. Like, this is a common mistake for beginners. You're going to hurt yourself if you land too hard on the shoulder. So be careful with your partner if you still want to be their friend, right? So if he wants to, he can post with this hand on the floor. This is going to make it a little bit softer as well. So there we go. And now you're sweeping, right? So once we're going to come up, I'm just going to turn the angle a little bit here. So once we're coming up here, I want to just scissor my legs and keep his leg trapped, okay? So I'm going to keep that pressure on top here, and watch how I'm not letting go of this sleeve yet. Okay? Reason being, if I let go, he's just gonna pull it back and he has a frame again, right? But if I keep this, watch how he only has this on to defend. So now I'm free to go in and start diving for a nice crossface, Preferably, I'm trying to control the gi right in the middle of his back, between the shoulder blades, this arm, and I'm really pushing in with my shoulder with the cross face here, okay? Once I have that control, I can step over. So now my leg is free, and I can let go of the sleeve and just hook under his legs here. Nice and easy, we're in the side control. One more time. Boom. Grab, break, push, switch, either the collar or the back of the armpit, pull, come up, cross face, step over, and there we go. Push. Okay guys, so we're gonna go a little bit further here with the De La Riva, and what we're gonna go for now is the single leg. So now this can be a reaction from the previous sweep that I try to go for, right? So as I'm breaking the grip and I'm kicking to come up, a lot of the times they see the danger of letting me have this grip, and he's gonna try to break it, and watch how he kind of postures a little bit up as he does so, right? So this is my opportunity to start attacking this leg and go for a single leg, right? So there's a couple ways to do this, and the easiest one is just throwing this leg back and coming up here, okay? So when I do this, it's kind of like an omoplata switch. You probably did it in the warm-up as well. We're throwing this leg back, and you're hooking with the other leg around his Achilles here, okay? Of course, I want to be sitting up here, and I want to put my weight on his knee. So this is almost kind of like a knee bar effect here, which is gonna force him to fall backwards, right? When I'm here, I'm looking to create, what should I say? I'm looking to close this space here, right? So I'm grabbing the opposite side of his hip here with the hand on the back here and closing this space, right? Now there's a couple of things I could do. I could grab the other knee, or I could just post my hand behind here and stretch it out, right? So by doing that, I'm preventing him from stepping backwards, right? So a lot of the times they can keep stepping away, and that's a problem, and eventually he can kick his leg out, right? So by having this pressure and me blocking, now watch how I can still block him from getting anywhere, right? So now, eventually, I can get the easy single leg, right? So one more time here. Let's say from the beginning, I grab, push, and I come up. He breaks the grip, and I kick the leg back. So now, looking to reach for the far hip here and get tied to him, okay? So I can grab the opposite knee, or I can go straight behind here, okay? Now, he can start spinning here. And once he does that, a lot of the times I can start diving under, right? Now, what I wanna do is I wanna keep my heel close to my butt, and I can sweep him over me, okay? So this is a common reaction. We've looked at the coyote guard before, and this is especially when he feels I'm pushing too much, and so he puts his weight back on top of me, okay? So that's when I can drop under and pull him in and sweep him over, okay? So we have two reactions there already. Kick, boom, come up, and here we are, okay? Now the last thing you can do is perhaps he got his leg out, and I just follow up, okay? And from here, you might lose it, but you wanna get tight and close, and you can do the spin single leg there, right? So you have a couple of variations depending on how he reacts from that position, but most of the time you want to get the first one where you just tip over, right? We just do one more time. So here, kick, push, come up, and here we are, right? So one little detail here, right? A lot of the times when I come up for the single leg, there is a version where you do this with the opposite leg. Now the thing about this one is you're kind of setting yourself up so that you have to sweep him backwards, okay? So what happens here is that if I try to pull him on top of me now, he's just gonna turn his knee in, and then he's gonna get the quarter mount, right? Eventually he might even get a better position. So The reason why I'm showing you guys this leg in the back here is because now I have the option to jump underneath and pull him on top of me. Okay?
Hey guys, I'm Luca. I'm here with Tarek. We're gonna demonstrate some intermediate techniques for no-gi. And beginner techniques for no-gi. We're gonna start from the Riva guard and we're gonna go through some scenarios.
Let's start with the tripod. Okay, so here, nice and easy, I have the Riva hook, right, and I have my other foot on his thigh. Okay, so we're just gonna go through the principle here. And what I'm making sure of is I'm always kicking with this leg to create some distance and regulating it here, right? I always like to aim for the thigh because if you're aiming for the knee, it's super easy for him to kick it or push it away, right? On the other side here, watch how I'm always moving my hip close to his leg here, right? If his leg is too far away, it's gonna be hard for me to hook his thigh here. And by keeping myself tight, this hook becomes much stronger, right? So for him to escape, he always wants to step away, and that's when I lose my hook, okay? So having this in mind, go back. So now what I'll do here is I'm gonna kick, I'm gonna grab his opposite or his near arm here, okay? This is not an efficient grip, especially in no-gi, it's super easy for him to break it. But what I want is for him to actually try to break it, because as he does so, watch how his weight is going a little bit further back, okay? So when he does that, I'm gonna move my foot on his hip bone here, okay? So the one that's hooking the Riva hook here, it goes on his hip bone, and my other foot goes right behind his Achilles here, or behind his leg here, okay? So now I'm gonna kick and pull this leg here at the same time. And by controlling his other leg here tight to my hip and preventing him from stepping back at the same time here, okay? So holding this, he pulls back, I can now come up, okay? So here's a little bit of a scramble situation, and to prevent him from scrambling too much or coming up too fast, I want to grab the opposite leg here, at least keep it off the floor, right? As soon as he can put his foot on the floor, that's when the fight starts with who's coming up first, okay? So if I can keep his feet off the floor, now it's gonna be a hard fight for Luca to try to come up. So here, I'm gonna grab the near arm here, I'm gonna kick and post my foot on his hip here. Now I'm sliding my other leg right behind his shin, or behind his Achilles, and kicking here, okay? Preferably, I'm always keeping his leg up, and now trying to look for the other leg here. From this position, I can do a technical stand-up. Watch how I'm on my elbow here, and I can place my foot on the floor and bring my knee through here. From here, I just try to get close and lift his legs. So, one more time, I grab, push, here, come up. Nicely. Oops. Okay guys, so we're gonna go a little bit further here and coming up for a single leg from the Riva position. So I'm looking for a really good timing here when he's really stretching up and he's putting his weight backwards, right? So what I want to create is this moment where I'm kicking and I'm sitting up here, okay? Could be, for example, that I pulled him down and he's already stretching up, right? This is the perfect moment where I can kick my leg back and come up here, okay? So from this position here, watch how this leg is thrown back, okay? And so now I want to be hooking the back of his heel here with my other leg. And by keeping myself up with my hips, I'm going to be pushing in towards his knee and putting my weight there, okay? So it's sort of like a knee bar effect here, where I'm putting all my weight and I'm forcing him to fall back to prevent the pressure on his knee, okay? My other arm here is going to get, I'm going to throw it around his hips and I'm going to try to close this space here as much as possible, right? So now, if you feel like this knee is slipping out, you could always control it for a little bit, but what I'm looking for eventually is to stretch his arm either behind his knee or to grab his knee and pull it in, okay? So this would be a classical double leg situation. The other one here is when I'm stretching through, I'm preventing him from stepping back, and I'm just gonna keep leaning forward here, okay? So this is pretty similar to what the coyote guard is. We've been doing that a couple of weeks ago. So I'm kicking and I'm gonna sit up and come up here, okay? So I'm putting my weight on his knee, and I'm gonna throw my arm behind, and I'm gonna push so that he falls back on his butt, right? So here, nice and easy, right? So from this position, I already have hooked his leg, and this helps me to keep passing, right? So I can bring my leg behind, and I'll walk around. Nice and easy. Now a different scenario that can happen. So when I'm kicking here, and I'm coming up, right? What can happen is he tries to put his weight back on top of me, okay? So now I'm gonna throw myself under and pull him over me. So here, I can spin for the top. Maybe we fell a little bit out. Let's do it from here. So I'm here and I'm trying to go under him first, right? So I'm gonna throw this arm through, but watch how I'm twisting his knee in so that when I throw both of my knees in here, I can pull him over me, okay? Watch how I'm at no point giving any space here, okay? Then I lose the position and he can torque his knee out. But by keeping his hips close to me, he can't turn, and I can now sweep him over and get the top position, right? For the last variation here, which can also happen, is you kick, you come up, and he steps out. So you're just gonna follow up all the way and come into the single leg position here, right? Nice and easy. You can go for the takedown by spinning around and pushing him down. Whoops.